pretty good from here, he thinks. I like it. At a friend's place out in the country, makes a change. And we started milling some wood last time, and we're about to mill some more jarrah for the door frames. Oh, here he is now. So hopefully we can get on with that. So it's a native hardwood from Australia. It's quite heavy, but it's robust. So the idea being is it'll be well anchored in the truck and put up with all the movements of the truck. So I'm making the door frame, which is a patio door frame, about 2 meters by 2 meters. This is the third day trying to get this recycled jarrah to a reasonable straightness. And what I'm trying to achieve is this, a door frame. So just a big L shape, but you'd think it'd be easy. Problem is, it's pretty straight considering how old it is. I've been running this over the saw multiple times, and I've made this jig and it seems to work. So basically you get a piece of something like ply or MDF or something that's got a straight edge on it, or you know it's got a straight edge. In this case, this is a reasonable straight edge. And then what you do is you cut the width of your blade along it. It doesn't have to be this long, as long as it's reasonably long. And then where it ends, you flip it over and put it on your rifling blade. I haven't got a rifling blade on this machine, so I've just put it tight against the fence and clamped it down on both sides. And the idea is you run your timber along here and it slowly straightens it out. Once it's perfect, it was bowing that way. So it's tiny, tiny hairline. I'm happy with that. I'm reasonably happy with that. I'm just wondering whether to go one more time or just leave it alone so I don't lose too much thickness, because I'm going to have to now rebate this because it's narrower than what the door size that I want to put on there. Unfortunately, I wasn't happy with the way it turned out. The L-shaped frame was just not working out with my particular table saw. So what I decided to do was to make it with two separate pieces. At least I had more control on the straightness and any warpage. So each piece was assembled using two pieces, a backing plate and a door jamb. Alright guys, you would have seen me doing all that sanding with a belt sander on this one. So what I'm left with now is imperfections, unfortunately, because it's all recycled. Remember, it came pretty much looking like that, and I've had to do quite a few runs on this, to the point it's taken me 2 days just to get 4 pieces or 8 pieces of wood that are about right. But anyway, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm putting tape on, and I'm just filling these gaps. This is where a hinge was before, and a screw hole, and imperfections like this. I need at least 2 surfaces that are good, but if I do a few of them, and then I've got a choice. So I've done this one already. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that where the screw hole was, so it does show a little bit. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do about that. Take this bit there to the edge, like so. I'm going to fill this bit here, and I think I'm going to fill a little bit there. So here's my palette. So just ordinary old light. I think will look better. So here we go. Just let's dribble out a small one, make sure it's equal. That's enough. And so it goes that funny opaque colour, and you know it's ready. There you go. Here. Alright, let's try a little bit more on the other one. But anyway, you get the gist, so I'm going to focus on that now, and then try and make at least one of the door jambs today. That would be an achievement, that's for sure. So guys, this is the profile. I don't know if you can see that, of the seal that I'm going to use, and where my fingers are is where it's going to go into a saw blade kerf of about 3 mil. So I'm just experimenting. I'm going to put one in there, if you can see that because of the light. Right there. And that's supposed to go in like that. So it takes a bit to push it in because it's got this funny lip on it, as you can see, and then you just force it in like that, and that basically runs all the way along. So I've only cut the wood a little bit because I don't want to waste it, but you can see how that fits. And this part here that I've made is going to be right in the center, so it's going to have 15 mil for the door jamb and 15 mil for the rebate that's going to be attached to the wall of the camper box. And basically, if you can imagine the door like this, that's how it's going to work. Gives you a bit of a lip so it doesn't damage the seal when you're stepping over it. And yeah, so if you imagine the door shuts like that, and I've done it so it's a 35 mil door, like so. This morning I experimented with some adhesives other than wood glue to see how they glue to various materials. So I've got this stuff which is like a builder's epoxy. It seems like it's quite strong now with a bit of give. But it took forever to harden. I still don't think it's hard yet. It's this stuff. Fix it or fill it. And it comes in like 2 sections. You're supposed to use this mixing tube, but once you've used those, that's the end. It's a single application job. So I just squeezed it out, put it on this board, mixed it all up, and it's still quite tacky. So that's what I've done with this lot. So I've got the coral flute to coral flute, coral flute to ply, jarrah to jarrah, ply to ply, ply to jarrah. Then I've got composite foam to composite foam to, you know, the coral flute, which has got the fiberglass gel coat finish, just like the stuff that my truck's made out of. So I thought I'd try all that. I'd like to glue my jarrah pieces with epoxy. I've only got a tiny tube, so I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Probably have to buy one of these for each one. But so I'm just going to have a little smash session. All right, so let's try. I'm going to leave that one a bit longer because it doesn't look like it's set. So this one is araldite to wood and composite. So let's see how much force that requires. Wow. Oh, okay. Not much. Doesn't look like it eats the composite, but the composite gives way, so it'll be good for sandwiching it, but not like a tensile strength. What about this? This should be much stronger, so I'm hoping the wood to wood. Let's try that. I know it's going to come off there, so we'll take that off first. Oh, it's a bit stronger. There we go. Still a bit tacky. I don't think it would make any more, but at least I know it doesn't seem to eat the XPS up. And this one should be, oh yes, so it's actually split the ply before it's done anything. So yeah, that is a very strong, so I might use that. In fact, I will use that. So without chiseling that off, that's not coming off. So wood to wood is really good. What about this to coral flute? I'm expecting it to be the same as the result, where this will break before that. So pulling forces, not so much, but oh, it's actually a bit stronger there. Oh, that's not bad. It's better than that. This took quite a gouge out. Alright, and then what about wood to composite? Expect this to be quite strong too. Yep, that's pretty strong. Oh, could have made this a bit bigger, but there we go. I reckon if I keyed that with some sandpaper, that would have been even stronger. And now this one I expect it to be quite strong. Yeah, that stuff doesn't matter what you do to it. It's not apart. Yeah, I've broken the wood. And as for this one, I'm going to try this now. So let's try wood to coral flute. Just the tension. Yeah, that's, wow, that's strong. Ooh. Oh my god, that's not, well, I know what I'm going to use now. Shit. Alright, let's try composite to, sorry, you know, gel coat fiberglass, which hasn't been cleaned either. Wow. Oh my god, this stuff's good. Shit, I'm impressed. Alright, in my mind I was going to bag it, but I mean, it's still soft on the board. I bet it won't be the same with this then. Oh, maybe. So let's try pulling force. See, pulling. Wow, that stuff is good. Let's try it on here. Oh my god, I'm impressed. Okay, okay. What about wood to wood? Well, I have to say, wow, look at that. It's broken the plywood. Alright, I'll take it back. Ooh, yeah, even wood to wood. It's not as good as... No, I'm impressed. It's not as good as wood to wood with epoxy. But boy, is it strong with everything else. This is amazing. I can't even twist it. There's quite a lot of leverage there. That's on there. Alright, well I'm going to leave that because then that'll remind me of how strong it is. And I got a feeling it's even really strong on this actually. Let's try and do a twist. Wow, that is the strong, look at that. Okay, I know what I'm going to use then. So I'm going to keep this one together because I know that's strong. So now I'm going to do this. This builder's bond is actually a lot better than I thought. And it's cheaper for the amount of quantity, if you know what I mean. Alright, But this is what I'm going to use it for. Is to bond this to that. Sorry, this to that right now. So this is how I'm doing my door jamb. So I'm marking the centre line ready for screws. And then I'm going to screw it together with some screws as well as glue. Made one of my jambs right there. And the process I'm doing is doing them separately. So this piece here is a separate piece that you saw me cut before to this one. I'll put the kerf run in for the actual seal that's going to be in there, the door seal, which I seem to have lost at the moment, the little piece. So that's glued and screwed, and it's also to try and mitigate some bends in the wood, I guess, because you've got two different planes, this one and that one. And what I've done is I've just used treated screws to go through the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug them, because this is going to be visible on the inside of the truck. So that's this one. This one's going to be the side one of the side pieces. So the hinges are going to be on top of this piece here. So the hinges have got at least 30 mil of meat. The hinge screws rather. This is the next one, so you can see it's two pieces. Put that one on top of that one, and so it overhangs at the back here. This is the bottom, and that's the top right. So this will be top left. You can just see my writing there. So that's what I'm going to do now. Give it a wipe down, get the glue mixed. I am using that Dunlop stuff because I think it's absolutely amazing. I don't know what it's just a general builder's epoxy glue. This stuff here can be shaped, sanded, painted, drilled, indoor and outdoor. Seems to do everything. But like I said, the tests that I've done on it just astound me, especially with the foam stuff. This stuff is amazing. See if I can get this frame built today. Probably put too much, but there you go. Rather have too much than not enough. So I'm going to wipe the edges down because I don't want it going in the curve. I did have a measuring block, but I can't seem to find it, so I'm just going to put it about there. Settle. Now, this is when it gets awkward. To find where my screw hole is going to go, which is about there. So put the clamp close to it, to right there. And we'll clamp it tighter. done. Now I'm going to work on the next one. So I've temporarily put the frame in. I'll just show you with clamps. It's a bit of an angle, but you can see it's in. And I've still got to cut out that bit of composite panel at the top, because at the time I didn't know how much I needed. So I erred on the side of caution. So you can see I've got to go a little bit more. And I'm going to now glue and screw the whole frame together, trying to keep it as square as possible. I've got a little bit of a gap on the edges over here, so it fits reasonably easily. So nothing too huge, but let's exaggerate here because it's been pushed that way a bit. It's about 2 or 3 mil all the way around. A bit tighter at the bottom, but I'm happy with that. And that's the level of the floor there. You can see it's going to be there. Pretty much where this board is going to be the floor level. And yeah, that's where I'm at this stage. So I've marked up the top, because you'll see there's the flanges of the actual framework, so that's going to butt up to here. The bottom piece I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with that. So I've marked the line. There's a bit of a movement in here, so I'm going to cut the line as straight as possible. I'm not sure, the last time I did the line it was a lot closer than that. So I'm going to cut to the line as evenly as possible, and then cross fingers, it'll all fit nicely. Alright, last piece, just going to put it together. So this is the bottom piece. I'm going to do it on my patio floor, because it's about the only space I've got. It's reasonably flat. I'm going to use my Powerball square tools. Hopefully they'll work as well as they do on steel. Here's the frame. Alright guys, so I've checked it for square. It's literally 1 mil shorter here from there to there, because I had to take a little bit off this edge to get it square. I can adjust it with this and make it slightly wider and try and fill that with some epoxy. But across the diagonals is equal, and length from here to here is, like I said, slightly longer than that, so by 1 millimeter, if that. These sides from side to side are exactly right, so I'm really happy with that, considering this is wood, and wood is, you know, not perfect. There's only one other issue. I think this one is bowed that way a little bit by about 2 mil, so it's neither here nor there. This one I think is alright, the floor, so this is the floor section. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pre-drill and put the screws in. I'm going to go in through here. All I'm going to do is glue and screw these two in here. Two in there, and two through the top here, and two through the top there. And I think that's your lot. Hoping the glue will do the job. Alright, so let's get these holes drilled, pre-drill them, take it apart, and then get the glue on, and then I might just leave it to set under tension or compression, whatever you want to call it, and call that a day. And then I'll just go and cut the aperture out of the actual box itself, so this will fit. But I know me, I'll get too excited when I try and fit it. Hey Muddy, what's she doing? Hello. Alright everyone, we've now got the frame drying overnight, and I'm about to take all the clamps off. Oh no, much. The other one. And here's the other one. So hi Rishi. Hello. Alright, let's do this. Take that off. It's got a bit of flex in it, but it seems rigid enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and carry it without causing it to wobble too much to the truck and just do a test fit. Once I've done that, I'm going to then cut the plugs and plug these up with wooden plugs, and then I'll clean them off and sand them off when they're set. These screws are the wrong screws. I'm going to replace those with the correct ones so I can plug these. And everything being well, I will round off these outer edges with a router just to give it some nice finish to it, because that's the bit you can see. The bottom bit I'm not bothered about because it's going to be underneath the floorboards. So hopefully, all being well, it'll fall into place. We'll try that. So I did have this set up to film me carrying it in there and then placing it in place. I had to do a little bit of trimming in the corners, but it's sat exactly where I want it. There's a little bit of a gap on the top right hand corner, but it's not too bad. I'm just going to measure it in a minute, but from a distance it looks pretty square. Let's just see how far off we are. But you can see my false floor is going to be the same width of these buttons. So this bit here is 90mm off the floor, but the actual floorboards will be flush with this door jamb, and that's basically 135 off the floor. So I'll have a clear 120mm floor space underneath the floor, and that'll be perfect for even more storage. It's flush, nice and clean here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's nice and tight. So these are nearly set. I'm going to trim them off now. These I've trimmed off, as you can see, and I'm going to sand them back. So now all the screw heads are gone. So I'm going to do that now. Of course, I've had to choose the most pale coloured plugs. They didn't look pale when I cut them, but they sounded a bit pale, so they're more obvious than I'd like them to be. So I might put a bit of stain on them. These aren't so bad because they look more, especially that one looks really good. So that one's good too. That bottom bit doesn't matter, I'm not bothered. But yeah, I'm going to apply a little bit of stain and a bit of cloth and see if it'll come out a bit. So as you can see, it fits really well and it protrudes by about 1 millimeter or so on the edge here, which is exactly what I want, which will be taken up by the glue. So if you just see that there, I don't know if you can see that, but there's about 1 millimeter between the wood and the edge here, and that will become flush once the glue is applied. So it fits really nicely under here. I'm pulling it in just to make sure it is flush. You can see maybe on this angle a little bit of a lip there. There you go. All the way up there, nice fit. A little bit of a gap, just perfect for the glue, because I want the frame to be flexible against the truck, but I don't want the doors to be flexible within the frame, if that makes any sense. The less the doors rattle, the less likely they're going to fall to pieces on corrugations and stuff. So it's better for the frame and the doors and everything within the frame to stay rigid, but then the whole frame and the doors are reasonably flexible within the carcass of the body. So it fits nicely along here. I am going to put something here, I don't know what yet. Maybe room for conduit or something, or just some decorative wood to go with the frame, because that's the floor level right there. So basically the wood for the floor will come out here, so basically in line with the bottom of this, and that way you'll never see it again. So I'm really thrilled with that. And now I'm going to take it back out and start working on the hinges. So I'm going to do a dummy hinge run, because I haven't done one for a while, and they're quite hefty hinges, so I want to make sure there's this 3mm gap but no more all around the edge, or 1/8 all the way around for expansion and what have you. But it looks pretty good from here, methinks. I like it. So that's that. Luckily it's not much taller than that, because I'd have trouble carrying it. I'd have to get 2 people on the job. But it's 1830 the aperture, so it's a nice size. It's not huge, so if you're over 6 foot, 6 foot something, not sure what 6 foot is. Is it 1810 or something? I can't remember, I'll look it up. But anyway, yeah, I'm thrilled. So got a nice lip at the top, which will be perfect as support for cabinets up here if I do put some. And yeah, can't wait to get it. I'm going to varnish it with like a yacht varnish, a really strong weathering one, and that way the Sikaflex will bond to it better rather than it being porous, because I just get the feeling Sikaflex doesn't really like porous surfaces that much. I'm sure it'll be fine. And then the way I've constructed it, it'll stop the force pulling on the frame is going to be that way, because the doors are going to hang out that way. And to stop it falling inwards, obviously there's the glue, but also I'll be putting architrave all around the outside as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with Jarrah or aluminium, but it's going to go basically across there, so about 15mm in, and glue it to that there, and that'll stop it going that way. Which it probably won't, because the weight's, like I said, is on this side towards me. But there you go. Thank God for that. Time for lunch.